Hey everyone, it's Angie and welcome to another video. Today I'll be starting 2 new sketchbooks. I recently finished my last 2 sketchbooks, the watercolor one and the pencil one, and I couldn't wait to finish them because I've been wanting to start a new sketchbook for a while now, but I really wanted to finish my 2 main ones, or at least be really close to finishing them, and then that way I don't feel as bad about starting a new sketchbook and never finishing my old ones, which used to happen to me quite often. And I'm currently using a couple sketchbooks already, but they are for different mediums and I'm not in such a big hurry to finish those. My main sketchbooks, on the other hand, like my watercolor and daily sketchbook, are finally finished, and I feel ready and excited to start 2 new sketchbooks. I'll be starting one for watercolor/gouache and one for dry mediums like pencils and basic inking. And it's perfectly okay to have a few sketchbooks in use at the same time. It might be scary at first, but I've really come to enjoy having one for just throwaway sketches and random ideas and just letting my hand and brain do its thing, and one for watercolor and wet mediums to just paint those ideas. And for some, it might be that they're actually into markers or pastels, and having a sketchbook that has paper quality specific to those mediums is so useful. So if you just want to go and explore different mediums, having a mixed media sketchbook could be great for you. I've gone through quite a lot of sketchbooks, and I'm in a place where I kind of know what I want to be creating next, but I'm sure I'll want to explore again very soon. So mixed media sketchbooks are great for that, and more specific sketchbooks are great for your preferred medium. Before even starting a new sketchbook, I like to get in the mood, and I like to go outside or listen to music that inspires me. And I also made myself a cup of tea and lit some incense in this video, because that really just makes me feel calm and more productive. Something I've been working on is writing the dates of when I start my sketchbooks and when I finish them. Also of when I finish my favorite sketches. I'm glad this sketchbook also comes with some space to write your name. It's just a great reminder for me because I really forget to write dates of my sketches and my sketchbooks. In my previous daily sketchbook, the first thing I drew was the supplies that I would be using and my pencil case and the sketchbook, and I actually got that from a different artist, and I decided to give it a try since starting a sketchbook can be a bit overwhelming, and that actually really helped me. So at first I was going to draw the same thing as in my previous sketchbook, like all the supplies that I would be using, but I couldn't really get it to look right, and I just kept erasing. So I decided to just draw a girl behind a bush of flowers, and I used some photos I took a while ago of me as a reference for the pose. And even though the photos I took that day didn't turn out very well because of the lighting, I was able to use them anyways, and I just changed up the shading to make it look the way I wanted because the pose was still really good. And as you saw from the beginning of this video, I actually took out a lot of my art supplies like my colored pencils and pens, and I didn't even end up using them in this drawing. I just drew this all in graphite pencil, and that's totally okay. Sometimes I get inspired and more motivated when I have my supplies laid out in front of me and just ready to go. But for me, this kind of sketchbook is really just to brain dump my ideas. It can be hard figuring out what to draw on the first page of a new sketchbook, and it can be daunting and intimidating, but start with something that you really like. It could be people, animals, nature, or even if you're really stumped, it could just be a prompt, or do like a challenge, like a draw this in your style challenge or a meet the artist challenge. And those are really fun too. And by the end of those, then you'll probably be really inspired to just draw on the next page and the next page and the next. And it doesn't all just have to be drawings and art in a sketchbook. In my previous sketchbook, I wrote down ideas that I had for stories and character designs and even this YouTube channel. And it may be weird writing in your sketchbook, but it really helps with getting ideas out too, and it can help loosen you up and feel more confident about drawing whatever comes to mind. Something else that's helped me figure out what to draw is to just make scribbles and doing random lines. It helps me when I'm not sure of what to draw and I want to create something but just nothing comes out. And that really helps me release the pressure of having everything I create be perfect, which it really doesn't. Not everything you create has to be a masterpiece. I know that nowadays, especially with social media, it is so hard to not feel like your art isn't good enough and like you're not drawing and making enough art. But in reality, it takes a really long time to get good at a certain art medium. And a lot of the times on social media, we don't see the behind the scenes of someone's artwork. A lot of the times, those artists spend so much time on creating thumbnails, small rough sketches of their ideas, and also color palettes for their art, and much more before the actual final product. For this painting, I actually made the sketch from life. I sat outside and drew this house, and it took me a couple of hours or so to really get it to look right. I never really draw straight from life all the time, but for this watercolor and gouache sketchbook, I really wanted to have paintings that I've made from life. My favorite gouache and watercolor painter at the moment is James Gurney, and he draws from life a lot in his sketchbook. And the subject doesn't even have to be that interesting, but he puts so much care and effort into his paintings. It really is a big inspiration for me to actually start painting from life and, like a photograph, make memories. For this painting, I really was going for overgrown, spring, dreamy kind of house. And even though it doesn't look exactly like this in real life, I didn't let that stop me from being creative and adding elements from my imagination, which is actually one of my favorite things to do. And to be honest, the final painting didn't exactly come out the way I imagined, but it got to a point where I didn't really know how to fix it, so I did as much as I could, and I had to come to a stop. And that's okay too, because there's always a next page, and there will always be a new sketchbook to start as well. As long as you do your best, it's never really failing, because it's not whether you fail or not, it's if you learned and if you're able to grow from that. That's what sketchbooks are really for. If you would really like to start a sketchbook that is only full of beautiful finished paintings or drawings, something that is super helpful is to have a throwaway sketchbook, basically a sketchbook that you use to make the ideas and thumbnails and rough sketches and all that, and then transfer those ideas into another sketchbook, the one that is for your finished artwork. It could be one that you really love, or you just love the paper quality of it. That way you don't feel bad about ruining a page from erasing so much and having random sketches next to pieces that you really like and that are finished. For me, I really want this sketchbook to be a book I use to just capture memories, and I'll probably be drawing a lot from life in here too. I really want to practice that. And something about drawing from life, it's just so like amazing to put that on paper. And I've really been loving painting with gouache a lot, like way too much to a point where I'm not even using watercolors anymore. So I can't wait to just create even more in this sketchbook. And so now we've come to the end of this video, guys. I really hope this video was helpful or inspirational in some way, and that if you're starting a new sketchbook like I am, then don't be afraid to express yourself with what you love and just grow and learn. Thank you so much for all your support, even in this period of my life where I'm not really able to post super consistently. But I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.